Good evening to you all. Green is not a new theme now. Global warming and climate change disasters are a reality, and the entire global community is getting affected in many ways. Green hospitals also a theme related to improving efficiency level of healthcare facilities and thereby reducing the impacts of climate change. Today, we have an eminent speaker is with us, Mr. G. Krishnakumar, Chief Operating Officer of SEAM. SEAM is the largest association of energy management experts in India, and he is heading the organization to greater heights. Being a veteran in the field of energy efficiency and management, and one of the senior most implementer of ISO 50001 energy management system in India, he is having vast experience in greening all type of organizations. I am privileged to invite Mr. G. Krishnakumar to this webinar. Over to you, sir.
Good evening. First of all, let me thank CAHO to give me an opportunity to speak to the people who are minding the health of healthcarers. That is the engineers behind any hospital. And probably I am attempting to sell igloo to an Eskimo. You are the people who can talk more about green hospitals, but from my background of energy efficiency, energy management, I'll be able to share what my thoughts on green hospitals with you today. So today, this is my outline of my talk will be, I'll give a context why it is important and what are the green hospital concepts and what are the green hospital aspects and greening a hospital. How can you green a hospital and benefits of going green? So this will be my substance of my talk today. See, as Mr. Jayakumar was mentioning, see, it all started long back. See, knowing a little bit of history behind this green will be helpful in committing yourself more into it. So I'll start with Rachel Carson in her Silent Spring, a book which was talking about how pesticides, excessive use of pesticides is harming the environment and the planet way back in 1962. That inspired people to go for the first Earth Day in 1970, which gave way to first climate conference in 1979, and the intergovernmental panel for climate change was formed in 1990, and 1992 we had that Earth Summit, or what is famously known as the Rio Summit, where sustainability was defined, and the rest is, most of us know the rest. We had then Kyoto Protocol in 1997 when many of the countries committed to reducing the emissions. There was a clean development mechanism, which unfortunately didn't give that kind of results which have been desired. Then we had COP21 as a part of this UNFCCC, IPCC, etc. This Paris Agreement came about in 2015, where each of the country decided to determine its own contribution and commit to it. But again, the commitments were found wanting. The world leaders again met in 2021 in COP26, and more countries have committed to a renewed vigor and moved towards net zero. That is where we are now. Okay. And coming to our health sector, or before coming to the health sector, it is a great task ahead of us globally. 52 billion tons of carbon equivalent annually are being thrown up to the atmosphere, which we have to reduce to zero. That's a Herculean task, unless each of the sector contributes its might to it. Okay, in healthcare, if you see, close to about 4-5% of the total emissions is in the healthcare. And if you consider it as a one country, or if you take all world's healthcare together, it can be seen as the 5th largest emitter. And India's share also is not less. We have about 1.5% of the total emissions in the healthcare, and it's a big number, 2.5 billion tons of carbon dioxide, carbon equivalent. Okay, and we are among the top 10 in these health sector emitters, or to be precise, it is the 7th place. I mean, so we are doing a great disservice to the whole planet. So we healthcare people have to be very, very conscious of our emissions, and that is the background on which green hospitals come in the picture. A green building council have defined a green hospital building as which enhances patient well-being, aids the curative process while utilizing natural resources in an efficient, environment-friendly manner. Definitions speak, I mean, they distills what they have to say. So here, first two aspects, patient well-being and curative process, is not different from any other hospital. Okay, any hospital is meant for that. The primary objective of a hospital has to be that. It has to enhance a patient's well-being and, of course, aid any curative process. The third element of the definition is what makes a green hospital different from a conventional hospital. That is, we have to, while doing the other two prime important functions of an hospital, we have to use natural resources in an efficient as well as environment-friendly manner. So this makes a green hospital different from a conventional hospital. Okay. So what are the natural resources in a hospital, in any hospital? We use enormous amounts of dimensions of energy and water, definitely, and we create a lot of the waste which has to be disposed in an environment-friendly manner. So these are the challenges in a hospital. Hospital, as we all know, it is a safety service unit. Okay, because unlike in any other building, a hospital, in case of an emergency or an unsafe condition, evacuation is a big challenge. So we have to be very, very mindful of the safety aspects in a green hospital. So that is, and other, if you count the aspects or elements of a green hospital, there are plenty. There are clinical, if you want to put it in different buckets, you can put it in clinical bucket and infrastructural bucket if you want to do it that way. See, I, from the infrastructural background, I'll talk more about the infrastructure, energy, etc. today. Of course, there will be many experts in the clinical side who can talk about what are the clinical contribution of the clinical procedures which will contribute to the emissions and that stuff. Okay. So if you look at the aspects or elements in a green hospital, they are going to be energy conservation, alternative energy, green building design itself, a safe operation. Safe operation of the building, waste management, water conservation, transportation optimization, and healthy food. Cleaning, I mean, that's very prime importance of the cleaning, disinfection, all these things are very of prime importance in the health centers. Then electronics, we use extensive electronic equipments for diagnosis, and all other things. then their ROHS electronics is a must in the green hospitals. Okay. So these are the elements. So these are the various elements. I mean, we'll be discussing not all of them, but a few of them we'll be discussing today. So how to develop a green hospital? I mean, first of all, the concept itself has to be there in the beginning, but unfortunately, we have maybe number of hospitals already operational, so they also have to go green. So if possible, whenever you develop a new hospital, so at very start itself, you have to optimize the level of energy efficiency. That starts from the very concept, very orientation of the building, which starts with the building, start with the orientation of the building, the how is it east west, where the light to sunlight, solar ingress it is going to intake, all those things have to be there. Then energy management in the operation, prudent energy management, which will lead to many enormous saving. And why energy management is important is that when you manage energy prudently, you save a lot of resources in terms of money. So this money which is freed up from the energy saving can be deployed in your clinical processes, efficiency improvement or quality improvement in the medical instruments which you are going to deploy. So that will serve your patients better. So energy management is very, very important in the thing. It is freeing up resources which will come into play to improve your curative processes or patient welfare measures, which are the primary objectives of any hospital. Then waste management. First of all, creating the waste, because clinical waste is something which is considered hazardous. So the processing has to be given enough enough concentration, so that it doesn't damage the environment and it doesn't add to the pollution already which we are facing. Water management. Water is a main ingredient in a hospital, which is very essential, which we are, and unfortunately this is also not in infinite supply, especially pure water. So this also needs enormous amount of energy to be put in to have enough continuous water supply in your hospital. So, and see, nowadays people talk of circular economy, where people are able to recycle, reuse, put to use many of the resources which we are putting to use, and how to reuse economically and healthily. Okay, that some of the challenges. So these are not I don't say that these are all very easy options, but we have to unless we apply our creativity, full might, our passion into these things, the green hospitals will never be a reality. So a lot of things have to go into it, and see, but it's not it's not very hard task, but you have to put in a little bit of passion behind it. Because, and why we have to put in a passion? Because it is in our own interest. Whether, see, unless the survives, there is no hope for an hospital. So we have to see that our planet survives, our humankind survives, then only any hospital will have a reason for existence. So we have to see that first of all, the planet survives. So that is why green hospital becomes a very, very it's a what is it ceases to be an option. It ceases to be a choice. It is something which we have to resort with our full might. So what is the design level energy efficiency? When you consider, it starts with the building itself. With building, I talked about the orientation, this sun ingress, the solar path. All these things will have to be considered by a good architect with a green thinking in mind, and so he will design and even the positioning of various equipments, and even operation theater. I've seen, because during my career when I have audited several hospitals, I have seen operation theaters being very close to say southern wall, or where the heat sun ingress is very heavy. the operation theaters never should be there. Okay. Then comes to the electrical system. Electrical system, yeah, say one major lacuna which I have found in many hospitals, which I had occasion to audit, energy audit. I have seen that many hospitals grow with the times, and very often it is not as per a master plan. It is ad hoc changes, ad hoc expansions do take place in hospitals. Whereby what happens, see, you have got ad hoc expansions, ad hoc connections, with the least importance given to attributed to safety or efficiency. It pure ad hocism, and that leads to an enormous and if you maybe during our COVID times, many of this hidden threats had come to the fore, and the country witnessed many accidents, many lives were lost, many lives were in peril, and these are purely, I can attribute it to the ad hoc expansions in the electrical system in a hospital. This has to be avoided in any case. I mean, so that will lead to, although it may serve a temporary or short-term benefit for someone, but in the long run, it is going to prove to be a disaster. So we have to be very prudent about the electrical system, which is given the least importance in, unfortunately, in any building system. Okay. The joke is that, I mean, if you engage a structural engineer, you engage an architect, but never an electrical consultant. In that used to be the case. I mean, now the things are slightly changing with a lot of thrust being given to the electrical safety and electrical efficiency. The things are slightly changing, but now, unless, see, people like you, elite group of people minding the healthcare of the country, if you also contribute to this thing, this will we can make a vast change in the thinking itself. Okay. Then lighting, of course, you all know, see, now it is a child's play. I mean, so from the old system of Anderson lamps, we have changed to LEDs, and that's no brainer. HVAC, yes, that needs a fair level of concentration or focus. Many a times, I have seen many people still go by the thumb rule business in the when you come to the HVAC designing. There has to be a thought behind it. How the HVAC has seen enormous change, vast changes in its thinking approach, etc. Even, I mean, see, hospitals are run on part load many of the time. This part load efficiency is never considered as an option, as a possibility while designing HVACs, and this is all leading to criminal wastage of energy, and so that can be avoided if the efficiency is brought in. That green operation theater, I mean, see, green here, even the ranges, okay, in the operation theater, the disinfection, fresh air requirements in operation theater is also given a not very the desirable amount of attention it requires. Of course, energy efficiency in laundry can be, say, there is fuel switching is very recommended now. See, earlier people used to have boilers, steam. Instead of that, then people switched off to as a fuel switching diesel. Then people went over to, now extensively natural gas is being deployed as a very efficient, and waste management along with that, waste management, waste processing. First of all, how to reduce the waste. I mean, it's a mindless usage of consumables lead to creation of enormous waste. Waste optimization is the first thing we can do. Waste management, how to dispose it very effectively. There are even IoTs now being deployed in waste management also. The bins are being coded there with tags, radio tags, etc. So that is one thing. And then water management. Water is very mindlessly used or wasted in the spin, and rainwater harvesting, reusing. These are some of the options available. And thank God, I mean, it's NABH, is a very, very effective tool. They have brought out very effectively to address this, the transition to green hospital. That is they are doing a human service. I mean, say that has brought in a sea change in the thinking of many, many hospitals. Okay, I'm seeing that the hospitals are sprucing up themselves to upgrade them into green hospitals, thanks to NABS, and so they are advocating for green hospital along with the clinical aspects of the infrastructure also being given the importance in the hospitals. Okay, they focus on electrical safety, where some of their clauses spell very clearly on these aspects, how a hospital should mind the electrical safety and energy conservation also. To quote the NABH, the FMS, there is enough priority is being given on the electrical safety, because see, as I told you, this is a safe service unit. Our hospital has to be considered as a safe service, and evacuation in the event of a emergency, in the event of an accident, in a disaster, it's very difficult, because many of the inpatients who have to be evacuated may be uh, handicapped, or they are not in a position to move on their own. So the hospital safety has to be given the utmost importance. And many of these accidents which have taken place, fire and all can be attributed to electrical accident, which needs lot of attention, because we have to. So as I told, it has to start with the design in the first place, then operational checking very frequently to avoid any, you can anticipate any untoward incident coming up, and you can take enough measures to combat that. So electrical safety is one of the methods. It's you can have frequent electrical safety audits, which will ensure that the human beings inside, whether they are patients or they are the people who are curing the patients, both of them are safe and sound. And even in the worst case of an accident occurring, they can be evacuated. So enough action can be taken, enough anticipation can be made on those things. Okay, so electrical safety, because many a times what I have seen, my experience in electrical safety audit is that, see, alongside safety audit, efficiency, all this will be coming to the surface, and see, normally what happens in a facility, when you are so familiar with the facility, so used to that facility, you tend to overlook many things. But when an external auditor comes, he will be definitely mindful, because his only job is to find that what is the incongruencies. Okay, what are the inconsistencies in the system. So he will be more keen. His eyes are trained to look at those things and bring to your notice what can be improved. Okay, so definitely an external auditor than an internal. See, like in hospital, we say, no, never try an home surgery, even for a small abscess or something. So you have to go for that, getting it attended. So never try an home surgery, even in the case of electrical safety. Get an expert team. See, there are competent people all around in the country. So there are several teams. Get their help. So that will do a sea change in your thinking. That will give you much better insight into your own this thing. See, okay. I was reminded of an incident when I wanted to audit a facility somewhere in a industry. The plant manager was very vehement that, okay, my plant is very super efficient and all, you don't have to find. So I just asked him, how on your dial, say digit 9 is represented. He had to look at his watch and tell me that it is Roman 9. Okay. Then I told, see, this is, see, you are wearing this watch almost 90% of your waking hours, and still you had to look at your watch to tell how the digit 9 is represented. Okay, so that is a human tendency. We get used to our facilities so that we tend to overlook. And when an external person he can point out what it is and all. So this, it is quite natural, and because it is not anybody's fault, because any professional, see, like you are all engineers in the healthcare industry, you will be keeping, you will be to keep things up. You will be more about the uptime, and the other things will get lower priority in your brain time. So that happens. Okay, so an external help is not a handicap. It is not a slur on your competence. It is just an aid. Okay, it is somebody is helping you to find. It is showing a mirror to you. So this is to your facility that these are the things can go wrong and this can be improved. Okay, never find. See, never, because engineers do have a tendency to find that this is a challenge on their competence, but never. See, any energy audit or electrical safety audit is just a aid. It is a extension of your own self doing a work for you, since you are lacking in time. You are engrossed in much more higher responsibilities. That is why. And in the, fortunately, in NABH also talks about energy management. Okay, so in the context of environment excellence, and of course, environment is drastically affected by the excessive use of energy. So energy audit is a or energy efficiency as an outcome of energy audit will be a very effective tool to lead yourself to say NABH accreditation, as well as that will lead to greening your hospital. Okay. So ensure this will again ensure the resources like water, electricity, usage of very prudent usage of electricity and energy, and conducting energy audit very periodically once in 3 years will help you to understand what is best for you to create the best environment for your patient, best environment for your employees. Those who are, I mean, this building, say green building means it's a good feeling for even employees. I mean, this the people talk about this poor building syndrome, etc. So all those ailments are eliminated by a energy audit, and doing it religiously, following up many of the energy saving measures. So our Bureau of Energy Efficiency have done, human services putting up guides, and even the many of our their state designated agencies in different states also have come out with beautiful guides, and they even help in conducting a very effective energy audit, leading to energy savings. And many a times uninitiated facility we have seen, I've seen even 5 to 20% is no brainer, but many times it may go even to 30%. Okay, and that gives rise to many companies who are in the ESCO business who will audit and implement the energy saving options in your hospitals and then share your savings and all. So hospital, there is enormous scope, save the country, save the planet. And then see, these are some of these areas where I described earlier also, HVAC, heating pumps. Say I talked in the context of design, I talked about all these things. In the case of operation also, all these elements, all these aspects of energy consumption will play a great role. HVAC, housekeeping, makes a major role. See, unless you periodically energy audit, you will never come to know what is wrong with an issue. What is how you can improve the efficiency, AHU, the filters, or then see all these elements, whether it is heating, whether it is heat pumps, water pumps, DG sets, renewable energy, all these can come in the operation side. And many technologies are now coming in handy to improve all these things. Lighting, efficient fittings are there. Sensor controls are being used effectively in many of the hospitals now. Modern hospitals have all equipped with the sensor controls, where only the occupancy sensor controls are. Whenever I clean the what you call patient rooms or doctor consulting rooms, only when the patient doctor is sitting there, the AC is on, the light is on, all those things. So that is done effectively. So earlier, but there are hospitals even now who request these nurse or compounder had to go and switch on the AC before the doctor comes in and all. So this can be eliminated by effectively HVAC housekeeping, maintenance, and replacement with the newer technologies, newer equipments can be one of the options. Heating, there are unlike the heat pumps is an option which many hospitals are effectively making use of for heating water, because much of the water requirement you need at about 50-60 degrees, which can be easily be delivered by heat pumps. Fuel switching, I mean, from the diesel or any other switching to LNG, PNG is one of the options. Water pump, see, many of the times water pumps are not matching the requirements with the right head, etc. So that is one. So see, many audits will speak about this in say maybe mismatch of requirements with the actual the installations. DG set maintenance will be very important to maintain the heat rate, and renewable energy integrators can be there. Okay, then say energy efficiency. Okay, the energy audit, and you pursue some of the audit recommendations you install. But on a, if you want a energy performance to be at your peak level or optimum level on a consistent basis, you need to have systems, because it cannot be person centric. If few persons are trained and then they are passionate, they may carry on for some time. But when the people go away, so this the whole effort can come to a square zero when the people move to higher responsibilities or even get transferred to another location, etc. So in order that there has to be systems. So systems will foster a culture. The culture can sustain energy performance at the peak level or the optimum level, which is desired. Year after year, that will continue, and there will be even smarter suggestions from all this team. Once a system is in place where it encourages a thinking for electrical energy efficiency, energy safety, etc. So there will be smart suggestions coming from all around the places, because there, so the suggestion schemes can be a part of this ISO 50001 system, etc. And see, this will all foster a culture. That culture will take you far. I mean, so that will sustain the energy performance at the optimum level. That will keep on improving also until the best practices are brought into your this thing, and you can benchmark against the best of the facilities in abroad, etc. So that will be see 50,000. I have seen many companies, many organizations that they march towards a era of excellence. Okay, so that is where this. So this all this will take care the behavioral aspects also into the that will help people to. So for the many improvement potential can be identified by this audits, energy management systems. Okay, ad hoc changes in the infrastructure. That is compromising the. See, another bane of this hospital electricity is the unauthorized loads. Okay, that means it can be in the patient rooms, beds, rooms, and then even see, I've seen many autoclaves. I mean, see, being used excessively. Okay, you need to sterilize things at about 121 degree, but this is kept on and on. Okay, without mindlessly. I mean, like nobody's business. This electrical item in a plug load, it will consume, it will gobble up all your electrical energy for no reason. So these kind of things can be addressed only by a cultural change, a behavioral change by all the employees there. So that will be done only by, say, partly by system, by on and large, the consequences of unbridled energy consumption. But now you have to be conscious also. That consciousness can be brought in by systems. Okay, so this that will avoid unsafe connections. So see, like nobody's business, they will put wires and take out extension cords and take. This can be avoided. This will all lead to undesirable results, undesirable disasters, unanticipated disasters. Okay, and there are several instances where even RCCB. So even some of the equipments can have a minor leakage, and so I have seen. I'm to the shock of my life. I have seen that RCCBs are bypassed by matchstick and whatnot. Okay, so this is a criminal injustice you can do it to a hospital by bypassing. So this has to be addressed. Okay, and then see, like I told you in the beginning, the electrical consultants are very rarely called into in the beginning of a discussion while planning a hospital or anything. The same way, lack of qualified engineers also is a bane of hospitality industry, this Medicare in the healthcare industry. And these things can be brought out by audit. We consciously asking for all audit. And I can go on this giving you case studies after case studies. RCCB not available in the distribution board, and it's a risk. I mean, see, it's only what I don't know how see, in North India we call it Bhagwan Bharose. Ram Bharose chal rahe. So that kind of hospitals are plenty. I mean, so so the RCCBs are either bypassed or not available, or conveniently somebody would have thrown it. This is a inconvenient thing, so let us throw it off. Okay, and let us and so that's a cruelty to the hospital and infrastructure you are making, and that's so these things are surfacing only when the audit is done. Then the inefficient deployment of true transformers. Okay, this can see, but it will all add to this thing. Then chillers, multiple pumps. So these are all inefficient operation which can be by a prudent energy audit, a very effective energy audit. This can be brought to surface, and corrective measures can be deployed, and many other technologies. Heat pumps is an option. Then the cooling of incoming air through by hot heat wheels, that can be. These are now technologies are plenty. Only a very conscious energy auditor can help you in identifying which is most apt, appropriate for your using, because all hospitals are not alike. So depending on the climatic zone of the where your hospital is located, size of your hospital, only a very dedicated energy auditor can find out the most appropriate suggestions. Okay. Again, I again appeal to you all to don't ever try home surgery things because an external help will help you to understand your own installation better, and they will suggest you the very because they are not they will be disinterested, or they have got interest in maybe I'm coming to the closer with all say, although it might have sounded a little bombastic, but a green hospital when it comes to doing things, I mean it's a very very simple engineering task which all of you can perform with the help of the external agencies who may help in identifying those opportunities and creating a world-class facilities for your patients. So many cases the investment, say green hospital, whatever the investments go into that can be recovered in a few months or years depending on the operational quantum of your hospital. It will improve safety. You don't have to be coming in newspapers for the wrong reasons. Okay, otherwise many hospitals for wrong reasons, so you don't have to do that. Then reliability of services. People will be happy to come to your this thing. Of course, a patient never comes happily to you. At least he will go off happily. That is what, because of the reliable services. And improved efficiency, energy efficiency will release much of your hard cash for other purposes, which you can effectively deploy to improve patient satisfaction, employee satisfaction, etc. So energy cost will be, maintenance cost will be reduced, morale of people. See, once things will go up, it will be looking up, and employees also will be having a high morale. And there is no, I don't have to tell that the employees with a high morale will be best taking care of their patients or clients. Okay, this will lead to awards and recognitions in a big way, and your hospital can be on the way to a glory. Okay, so NABH is definitely something which I'll advocate vehemently. You follow it in letter and spirit. That is very important. So that every clause of that will lead to, because I am touching upon only the infrastructural aspects, because I am from that side. So electrical safety, energy efficiency, follow it up with a energy management system, which will foster a culture. It will institutionalize a system which will sustain your energy performance and lead and not only green your hospital, and that will keep the hospital green forever. And green is the glory which you can aim at for years to come. Okay, with this I am closing my presentation, and I am open to any queries. Of course, I am sorry that my internet was not helping me today, because Kerala we are facing the rains. Okay, so that cloudy, or maybe I don't know what is the reason.
Thank you, Krishnakumar sir. We will go to the questions. Let me open the questions. Yeah, the first question is electrical energy audit and electrical safety audit is same. If hospital did an energy audit, then the hospital needs to do electrical safety audit separately.
See, these are two distinctly different competences are required, but there are, see, like many doctors with multiple ability. See, we say that diagnostic is one part and then surgery is another part, but there are, or administering a medicine is a different competence, but there are people who are well versed in both. So you have to be choosy when you have to be very clear when what you want out of an electrical audit and what you want out of an energy audit. When see, that is why I request the engineering personnel behind an hospital to be applying their mind what outcome they expect from the energy audit. Okay, if they are clear, you can get things done through an electric energy audit.
There is one more associated question with that.
Yeah.
You can do an electrical safety audit within a hospital. Is hospital employee who is an electrical engineer can do an electrical safety audit?
I believe I touched upon this issue earlier, because never ever a home surgery. Okay, I gave the example of people trying to home surgery of an abscess on your leg or something, and then that will degenerating into a gangrene. Okay, sometimes it has happened. So never ever try a home surgery in the case of a electrical audit nor a energy audit, because so that will never give you right. It will not throw up the opportunities. Okay, it will not reveal the lurking risk behind it. So it is see, like an electrical safety auditor trained, competent in his domain, will always be able to. He's trained to look at the defects or what can go wrong. Okay, he's trained for that. Whereas a hospital maintenance man is trained to keep the uptime up, more uptime. So these are two different approaches, two different attitudes. So we have to make use of the best approaches and attitudes. So you have to have an external agency.
And the next
That
question,
I'll vehemently advocate for that.
and there is one more question. I think that question is not relevant for today's discussion. It's regarding cleaning of oxygen lines. I think Vinod Kumar ji will be in a position to answer.
Actually, you need to clean the oxygen copper pipelines before the oxygen is charged into the system. So at the end of the construction stage, this pipe has to be cleaned, and we use nitrogen gas to clean the pipelines, flush the pipelines, and do pressure testing. But if it's an existing system, you have an existing hospital and the pipelines are already existing with oxygen and they are being used, unless you need to have a problem of leakage or you have a problem of contamination, you don't do the pressure, you don't do the flushing. What in case you have to do it, then you need to go for a shutdown of the whole system, and then again use nitrogen gas to flush the pipelines, do pressure testing if there is a pipe leakage issue, clear the leakage problem, again flush it and pressure test it, and if the pressure holds, we'll have to flush and clean the pipelines before it is filled with oxygen and then put to service.
Thank you, Vinodji.
Yeah.
Thank you, Krishnakumar ji, for a very nice presentation, giving insight to all about electrical safety audit, energy audit, and the systematic energy management through ISO 50001. Thank you, CAHO, for organizing this webinar. Thank you all.